Hello everyone and welcome back to Empkin Gardening. Today we're going to be planting up some mums. It is fall and it's a wonderful time of the year to plant up mums. We have a variety of mums, different bloom types for you and different sizes. We have a couple different areas that we're going to put them in our front yard. But we wanted to kind of go through a little bit of facts about mums in case you didn't know. So mums are perennial in our area. They are zone 5 through 9. And if you've been watching our channel for a little bit, you know that we garden in a zone 6, which means that those zone 5 perennials can be a little temperamental for us sometimes. So we're going to take a risk by planting these in the ground. It all depends on our winter, on whether or not plants that are go down to zone 5 survive, so we will give it our best shot. Otherwise, we'll just treat these as annuals. But we're gonna hope that we can mulch them up and they'll winter over okay. So again, they're typically a zone 5 through 9. They're hardy mums, also known as chrysanthemums. I just read that story to my kiddos at the beginning of the year. I love that book. In case you didn't know what it was, I'll pop the cover right here. Awesome children's book. All right, so we have several different sizes, but I wanted to start with this one, which is super cute. So actually a coworker gifted this to us. It looks like there's 3 mums in one. We have yellow, purple, and like a burnt orange. You can tell with these types of mums that they actually have like a two-toned coloring to them. They're really tight pincushion type blooms, but they have a two-toned kind of coloring with the darker center, and then it kind of lightens out as you go out. The yellow ones in particular are very two-toned, but you can also see it in the purples and the oranges. So you can see that this one's getting a little bit leggy. To avoid this when you plant them, you can just pinch them off at the stem. So 2 great times to plant is in the spring or in the early fall, which is what we're doing right now. If you do plant in the spring, it is recommended that you pinch off at the stem at least once, but preferably twice before July. And it just avoids really leggy branches and blooms, and it instead provides you with much more dense, thick blooms all around. So even though it feels really bad when you're doing it, because you're like, oh no, I'm pinching off these stems and the poor plant, don't. It's gonna turn out like this when you do it that way. So it's okay to pinch. So that happens if you plant them in the spring. We're planting them in the fall, so that process was already done when we got these mums. So this is one type of bloom that really kind of compact, pincushiony type bloom, but let's check out a different type of bloom. So just like with the mum that had the 3 different ones in the same pot, this big one right here has the same similar pincushy type blooms. But this is a much smaller mum in a container. This has a much more open style bloom. And that's the wonderful thing about mums, is there's so many different varieties that you can get. So many different colors and so many different bloom types. And they have all sorts. There's like a spider bloom, much more flower, like open with a button nose type bloom. There's so many varieties. Now, whether or not those are hardy for you and can come back or could be treated as annuals, that depends on the variety. These ones are technically hardy mums, but again, we'll see if they come back. This is another really big mum in a container, and you can see again the two-toned, kind of starts off darker and then opens up into a lighter color. It just gives a little bit more dimension and depth to the mum, and you can tell they're all just loaded with blooms. Really excited to open up for the fall. So we have small ones like this, the white ones with the open blooms. We have 2 big mums that we're actually not going to put in the ground because they came in these really beautiful pots. So we're going to actually keep them in their pots. It's a big enough reservoir for them. They should be pretty happy. And then we can just pop them in the garage to winter over, hopefully. So we have a couple small ones, and then we have some medium ones. Again, a bright yellow that has an open bloom. It's kind of a medium size, and you can see how densely formed this mum is, which means they did a really good job with pinching it earlier, much earlier in the season. Mums are just so traditionally fall, so we're excited to pop some more fall colors in the garden, because right now the blooms that are carrying it are really like the sunflowers, the dahlias, the zinnias, besides the fall planters that we just planted, we are going to be putting some new perennials out too for you all, but we are desperately needing some fall colors. So we're going to plant these up. Mums are very heavy feeders, so we are going to fertilize when we put them in the ground today with some new soil. However, I have read about mixed feelings about that. You should definitely fertilize in the spring when they're coming up, but I've heard mixed stories about fertilizing in the fall and how it changes the pH of the soil. But we're gonna give it a go, try to get as much root growth as we can before the first frost, which is a few weeks away. So hopefully we're good. We're gonna give these guys the best chance that they can. So we're gonna going to put some new soil in, some biotone, cover them up, new soil on top, hopefully get them nice and cushioned. And we're really excited to have all of these beautiful fall colors. Here we go. On how it turned out. We chose particular places in the front yard that we knew got at least part sun, but for the most part it is full sun, which is exactly what mums want. They want a full sun location, they want well draining soil, and as you could see with like the auger, minus some like tree roots that we ran into, it's very fluffy soil, so it's going to be wonderful, really well draining. We're excited about the pops of color. You probably noticed the echinacea and the black-eyed Susans are out of bloom right now. They are pushing their third set of blooms. They're pretty small though. That third set is pretty small, but that's okay. You know, they've been blooming all through the summer and this is their third set, so we're happy about that. You probably also noticed that they're being eaten by the birds, which is exactly why we leave up all of those spent buds on the echinacea and the black-eyed Susans, because the birds forage them all through the winter, so we do keep those up all through the winter. They do provide winter interest too. It's really nice when the snow falls and lands on those little puffs and like buttons of the echinacea and the black-eyed Susan. So we leave those up. We pop that color underneath with the mums. We're so excited. These two big ones are going to stay here because again, their pots are so beautiful. They're gonna stay here. And we hope that you loved this video, that you got some information about mums that you might not have known about. Give us a thumbs up, comment down below, especially if you have differing things in your area or advice on mum growing. We're really hoping that this Zone 5 thing's gonna work out and they will come back next year. We're really hoping. So subscribe to our channel. I hope you're having a wonderful fall and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.